Okay. Good evening, afternoon, depending where you're at. I want to thank everybody for coming on this webinar. If there's any questions as we're going on, if I can answer them, I will. And we'll take some questions at the very end. I'm sure that you are tired of looking at this slide, right? So what we have here is just some information that I'll put on later of all the ways to reach out to us and information on the software. I have to throw this up regardless. This little risk disclosure just for our regulations in the compliance world. You can read it. And so the purpose of this webinar is purely to introduce a new working relationship that I've been working on for years. Terry Lieberman, with the founder and owner of PhotonTrader. It's a good friend of mine. We met back in 1995, and I always wanted to do something with a market profile charting system. And for those people out there that know me very good, they know that I love market profile. And Terry Lieberman actually had the best product out there, PhotonTrader, for years. And I always felt like it'd be a great idea for us to put the two together and offer this, kind of a 2 + 2 = 8 software to bring the forces together, deliver some awesome technology, execution, all under one platform. And we finally did. So this is, we have a new partnership with PhotonTrader to be able to offer this. And we could offer it after this webinar. If you're interested, you can go ahead and contact us. But that's the reason for this webinar, to show you the software, talk about it, and the advantages of it. For those that don't know who I am, and our company, we're Future Path Trading, which owns a software called PhotonTrader that we've had probably now, it's going on 19 years. And myself, I've been around for 41. The founding partners my other partners who originally came on board, we're all clearing members and traders on the floor. So the system, PhotonTrader, was designed by traders, and therefore we feel it's a state-of-the-art execution platform. Okay. So the advantages of the two, PhotonTrader and PhotonTrader, offer many advantages. The fact that we are combining the two, it's under one login on one software, and PhotonTrader currently is by itself is a great software, and PhotonTrader is a great software, but the combination offer many, many different advantages. For instance, PhotonTrader now will be using the PhotonTrader data, which is delivered in milliseconds. And the servers for the data for Photon are at the exchange of the CME. So you're getting real-time service and speeds delivered from the data center at the CME. The second, the other combination offers the fact that it is under one platform. We fall under the data commission discount from the CME as a trading software, and that allows us to have the data costs as low as $18 for 4 exchanges. Now, for those who are PhotonTrader users, or you're any kind of charting software, when it's a standalone, of course, you're paying for the actual company, whether it's bar charts or whatever, their cost plus an additional $60, $70 per exchange that can get you up and over $250 probably in exchange fees. By combining the two, you're getting real-time, super fast, clean data for $18. Now, with that being said, it could be $6 if you're at one exchange, but why not get 4 exchanges? So that is really a big plus. You're also minimizing the amount of use of having two completely different platforms open. This is under one, framework. If you understand that, it's just you're downloading one framework and one software, and you're getting them with excellent speeds and low costs. FuturePath is a brokerage. We've been around for a long time, and we offer multiple FCMs. Plus, based on volume, we can go down as low as 50 cents commissions per side. That is also an advantage if you're trading the volume. That's something based on your volume. But we're, no doubt, we're cheaper than, I don't want to slam them, but most of the competitors are out there just from our rack rate. Photon, the combination, there'll be some discounts on the platform. For PhotonTrader, it'll be 50% off if you combine the two together. And there will be a special for those new users that we'll talk about later for the WindowTrader product. So here's the the offer, basically. PhotonTrader normally is $99 per month. If you have WindowTrader, then we'll discount it to $49 per month. WindowTrader is $285 per month, and the exchange for 4 exchanges is $18 roughly, and that includes the CME, COMEX, NYMEX, and Board of Trade. This is for all their products, not just an E-mini package or just a bond interest rate package. This is for all the products offered on those 4 exchanges. And it's really falls under the non-professional classification, which is 99.9% of traders. Even if you trade a lot and you're a big trader, if you don't own a seat and you're not a registered with the NFA, or you're not trading a fund, it falls under that classification. The other special that WindowTrader is going to offer here is only for new subscribers for WindowTrader that are working with FuturePath. And if you do decide to try it for a month or two, there's a $40 per month discount for the first 3 months if you sign up before the end of February. And I hate doing this kind of a sales thing. I'm not good at it, and so that's why I put it on there just so you can understand it. But it is a very professional package. Now it's amazing how you get some people that will pay. I just talked to somebody who paid $1,600 for 3 days, and for some program that it's worthless. And they pay huge monthly costs for some kind of systems. This is a very good deal for what you're getting. You're also saving money by clearing through, executing your trades through FuturePath, and you're getting a big savings on data. By the way, if you have 2 different softwares, let's say a trading software like Photon, and you have a charting software, you're actually paying 2 data fees to the exchanges. They're separate. So here you're paying once and you're getting a discount. So it's really nice. It's a good package. The basic steps, and I think it's clear enough, but it's really easy. You have to have a funded account in order to be considered a CME, get the CME discounts, because the idea is they make the money under the transactions. Even if it's 1 contract a month, they're going to take that chance. But you have to have a funded account. So you fund an account with FuturePath and then ask for the PhotonTrader execution platform. And then you would go get the subscription from WindowTrader to get this combined package. Okay. Here's a couple slides that I put together so you could see WindowTrader along with PhotonTrader. This is, for those people that know Photon, it's just a matrix or a ladder or dome up there. and you could see Window Trader, which is a market profile system, software with much more than just market profile. I would say a volume analytics as well program. We'll go through some of the benefits, and then I'm going to have Terry Lieberman, the CEO, show you a little bit more about Window Trader, his software. So you can see on the right, you have market profile. Those are that's 6 days worth with volume. On the right side, volume profiles. These are just some snapshots that I did. Oops. Here's this is Photon with the volume candles next to some basic volume histogram candles, 30-minute bars with volume on the right. Just ways you can put them side by side. And the reason I made these slides, I only have one slide to show you at a time, so I wanted to show you how you can have them bunched together a little bit. But if you have 2 screens, you can split them up and do whatever you want. You can have multiple charting screens up. I have 8, but you don't have to have that many. And this is just these are just snapshots again. You showing the volume candles, and this is a market profile, and you can break it out into a candle next to it, so you can see how the candles would work if this were just a candle. You wanted to see the candle volume next to the market profile. Here's just other snapshots. It's a very cool software, and for me, it's very informative. Market profile, especially this particular one, is a state-of-the-art one that you can really kind of find all the major support and resistance levels while you're looking at a real-time chart, a photon chart also with your favorite indicators, so you can combine them now together. This here is nice because this is the day session in the blue, the night session, and then this is the day session. I love breaking those out. That's a really nice macro look at what happened during Asia and the currency markets. The European markets. It's very informative, and we'll be doing some webinars on that, and I have done a couple, and we'll do more to just talk about the advantages. A couple more. Here's a basic matrix. You've got your instrument, your quote board here. This is your order management window along with a market depth right next to each other. So you can see how pretty it looks, but also informative just from and visual this is. There's also other volume analytics that you can do. This is similar to a market delta, but I think it's got a lot more things you can add to it. And this is just another screenshot. Okay. So if you were to look at these side by side, here's your market profile. This is how it would be broken out, which you can do that as well. This is what a candle charts look, and then this is what volume candles look. So you can see all 3 of them have something to bring to the table. I personally, regular candles are okay, but the combination of these along next to market profile is, for me, is very good to offer here. So what I'm going to do, let me do one more thing. Okay. I'm just doing this to show you. Here's today. This is something I liked. I put this up right here. This is Window Trader right next to a candle volume chart. But let's look at Window Trader on its own. And I have to tell you, these you can put these reference bars up here, and Terry will get into how you can customize them or whatever, and we will go over it again some other time. But you see, I put these reference bars in actually before the market actually even got there, and it really shows how they were key support and resistance. So there is coming from the floor of the exchange, I will tell you, where there's no volume or there's a lot of volume, those areas are very important. They're like support and resistance. They deflect, they attract, and it's good to have these done before the market even opens up. On the right side, this is accumulated volume that you can merge on the right side, and I usually take about a week's worth, because the last week is going to be very prevalent, you know, or you could take up to, you know, you could take a month, you could take as much as you want and then merge it. Okay, so with that being said, let's see if we can do this properly. Terry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, and okay, Terry knows, and we're probably both not tech guys, there's no doubt about it. And and I'm doing this from my Florida home. So, you know, if I didn't do this right, you know, give me a mulligan. So I'm going to let Terry take over. Terry, you want to go ahead and click on share your charts, and let's see if we can get this. So if you go up,
do you have to switch it to me?
Yeah, no. So you just go hit where it says share, new share.
This says stop the other share screen.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
And then you should be able to show yours.
Okay. Let's see if that works.
Okay. Okay, it looks like it is. There you go. I see your chart.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Okay, and you can see in the share there which charts. You could click on the chart that you want to share in, and you can click on it and just it will.
I've got it set up with tabs. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Lieberman. I didn't give you a real. Terry is a great friend of mine, and he's the owner of PhotonTrader, and you won't find a finer guy and gentleman and as knowledgeable in this market profile as Terry. Terry, take it away.
Thanks, Damon.
You got it.
Well, hi, everybody. What I'd like to do is, Damon kind of gave you an example of a few of the different chart displays. I just want to walk you through real quick basically the way a lot of the traders use PhotonTrader. And the first step is to establish what we would call the context or the big picture for your trading session. What I have on the screen is a collapse profile based on volume, and I'm showing the open, high, low, close bars overlaid on top of that volume profile. This goes back to February of 2018. So I'm showing 1 year. Now I could show 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I can go all the way back, for example, with the S&P to 1999. And what you're looking for is to see where volume displayed in what we would call an accepted mode or rejected mode. The valleys are representing rejection. The peaks are representing acceptance. So here's an example of being able to see, as I say, a 12-month period in time. You also could break this down if you want to go back further. And in this case, I went back to 2016, and I broke it out for 2016, 2017, and 2018. And this is another way to look at the contextual volume. When you have a display like this, and you're paying attention to the areas of rejection, you can put, like Damon was talking about, you could put zones on the chart. And in this case, what I'm looking at is I had a high volume in 2017, right here at this price level, about the 2,700 level. And then I have rejection right here about the 27, 65, 67 area. If I want to transfer those to an intermediate term chart, all I do is I go in, I copy the reference lines, Now I go to an intermediate term chart. And on this intermediate term chart, I'm just going to right click, I go to the symbol, and I paste the reference areas. Those are the reference areas coming from the long-term chart. What I would also do on this chart is bring into play what we call the cumulative profile. Now the cumulative profile, I don't want to just set it. Now I know Damon uses it for a shorter period of time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to a significant point in the market, a high or a low that was kind of what we would call predominant. I'm going to right click on this profile. I'm going to go to session. I'm going to go set the cumulative profile from there. Now what it's doing is bringing all of that volume in that transpired from that period of time. So there was obviously a lot of rejection here, so we're not seeing a lot of volume displayed here in relation to the amount of volume that was based on these profiles right here. One thing I can do is I can go in here, I can change the colors on this to show me where is current volume versus historic volume. So if I go in here, I put on, say, yellow for the far color, and I put red on for the near color, I can see this is the concentration of volume that I want to pay attention to, but I'm also going to be mindful of these areas of rejection and these areas of accumulation. These areas are basically magnets to draw the market to them. The valleys are the areas where the market is basically rejecting price action. And in this case, you can see this came down to here for this valley and here, that roughly. Okay, now one of the things I want to show on this chart, I'm going to clear the reference lines off, is that we have a set of what we call the Dalton metrics. Here we're marking a single print with yellow, so they stand out. This would be termed excess or a buy tail. If it's on the high side, like right here at the extreme, it's going to be red for a sell tail. It's also going to show us if there was a gap. And the way that we measure the gaps using the Dalton metrics is we want the range marked as a gap between the extremes. We're not looking at where the market closed or where it opened in the next session. We're just looking at the high of this session to the low of this session. If you don't like these, turn them off. And then in addition to that, what we have here is the overnight profile, but I put it in a summary mode. So I can see where it opened overnight. I can see the initial balance overnight. I can also see the point of control, and I can see where the settle was right here. All of this is controlled based on this panel right here. I can adjust colors, I can adjust percentages. All of these things are to allow you to personalize the charts to yourself. Now I'm going to take it down a little further as far as looking at it closer to the day. This is an example of what we call an overlay chart. What I have here is a 30-minute period with two 15-minute periods inside of it. In other words, I want to look at the 30 because it's one of the primary time intervals used on the market profile, but at the same time, I want to see what happened inside of the bar. Now you can set these up. We have templates. You can set these up with 5 minutes and a 30. You could set these up with 10 minutes and a 30. You could change this to 60 with two 30s in it. It's totally up to you. And this is where we get into the volume analytic part of it. I want to see what volume is doing in real time as the market unfolds. One of the things I can do is I can go in and I can put volume on the chart based on this period only. And what I'm looking at is relative volume. Where was the most volume traded based on time periods? So in other words, the close had a lot of volume, the open had a lot of volume in this case, and then roughly this period of time right here, which would line up with an hour and a half to 2 hours into the market. So this allows us to see relative volume. On the other side, I can go in and I can create this calculation right here, which allows me to see the current volume for each period, in this case, each 15-minute period. This is the current volume. This right here is the average volume. You pick the number of days you want to see the average for. In this case, it's 10 days. The delta or the difference. And then we compare it to one standard deviation. If it's within one standard deviation, we paint it white. If it's below one standard deviation, then we paint it red. And if it's greater than one standard deviation, we paint it green. In addition to that, we're looking at the volume for the session. What is it compared to the average? We're looking at the range compared to the average, and the same with the initial balance. So if I'm monitoring this on the first two periods and I see that the average initial balance is 44 ticks in this case, and I see today I'm only at 20 ticks, I'm looking for range extension there. I'm looking for the market to exceed that initial balance figure and go one direction or possibly both directions beyond the point of control. If I'm trading and I'm at an extreme and I see that it's equal to what the average has been, in a case like this, I might be looking to scale some off or at least reduce my risk that I might be at the extreme of that range. Those types of things help us, we believe, make better decisions. And that's what our subscribers will tell you. So those are the main screens. Now, you can personalize this by just clicking on what we call our action panel. I'll just show you how that works. Very simply, this allows you to have the control of the personalization in a very straightforward, easy manner. If I want to add another market profile to this display here, all I do is click the plus sign, click on market profile, and it will add another market profile for me. Now, if I want a second one, I could add a second market profile. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this one so I can see what the 30-minute periods are doing. I have colored this with high volume in the red, magenta in the purple area, and the white is the low volume area. If I want to see what the percentages are, all I do is go to the settings panel, and I can see right here the top 30% of volume is red. The next 40% is the magenta color. And the balance, which would be 30%, is the default color, which in this case is white. Now, if I have a display like this, I really can't do much with it except look at the collapse profile and the expanded profile. But I want to be able to do more to the chart. So what I do is I go to the two arrows. I click on the two arrows. I go to TPOs. Now this display is going to look exactly like the expanded profile, except in this case, I've colored red for the high volume, magenta for the medium volume, so I can see where the high and low volume was now in each 30-minute period. But let's assume that I would like to see contract volume with it. So I go to the green gear in this case, go to the plus sign, go to data values. There's contract volume for each of these periods. If I want to move the TPO column to the right, I just go to the arrow, click it, and it moved it to the right. If I want to change this column of contract count, I would go to the two arrows again, grab the histogram. Now I have a visual display of the volume, not the numbers. If I want, I also could go in here, uncheck this right here, color by distribution. Now I have colored it like a candlestick. So I've taken a histogram, colored it like a candlestick. Now I can see where this period opened and closed. I also can see where the high volume and low volume areas were. If I want, I can again move this right here to the other side. I could also reverse this right here by going like this, reverse right here, and then move this back if I wanted to, like that. I have total control over the display that I'm creating. And one of the things that over the years that when we decided to take subscribers on is that we wanted to empower them to be able to configure the software to fit their style of trading or their methodology, their time interval, whatever. And that is one of our key objectives, was to make it as easy as possible to create the displays that you want to see. For example, if I go here, I click on the blue gear, I go over to the value area. I can change the value area to have the point of control be by TPOs. I could have trade volume. I can change the color, get rid of the fill color right here. I could change the border color very simply, go to yellow if I want. Now, another thing that I can do is I could hide this area right here, make it transparent. And now what I'm going to do is go into here. I want to see the point of control, and I want to see the value area on a dynamic basis. This is showing me the value area as it moved throughout the session. This shows me where the point of control was during the session. So I can see if value is moving up in conjunction with price, or if price is moving up but value staying lower or stable. These are just some of the things it can do as you get into it. It's not something that you're going to learn, in 5 minutes, but it is something that with our help videos and all the recorded webinars and different examples that we have, I think that you'll find that it's very easy to configure the charts to support you in the way you trade. One of our philosophies is that most software, the user is required to adapt to it. With Window Trader, we want it to adapt to you and your style. Damon. Now, if there are any questions, just type them in, and I'm happy to answer them for you.
Okay, Terry, that was awesome. Just to clarify, Terry showed you so many different things you could do with it. Now, Terry, you can agree with this, is you're gonna try to find what works for you and what time frame you want to look at, and what kind of setup you want to put on your charts. And so it just has so many possibilities on here. So it has everything that you possibly can want to do. That's what I like about it. It's not just market profile. You could see, you can do 15-minute candles inside of 30-minute. You could do histograms on volume on 30-minute bars, some trade counts and all kinds of things. So I don't want you to look at this and go, oh, that's too complicated. Well, it is, but if you do everything, but it is, it has everything that you need. And then you just pick what works for you. You don't have to do everything that it has. You pick what works for you. Okay, let me see if I can. Yeah.
Excuse me, one thing, let me just show something here. I maybe did not explain something clearly. Mm-hmm. Here's the overlay chart. I'm just going to show you how this is constructed. If you'll notice, what I've done now is I broke out the 30-minute candles here, and I have the 15-minute periods here. But if you'll notice, behind the 15 minutes, we also put a candlestick body. So you can see where this 15-minute opened and closed. You can see where the 30-minute opened and closed. And this is really helpful when it comes to understanding the dominant time interval. In other words, we hear higher time frames rule. This would be a perfect example of how you would capitalize on being able to see it versus having this on one screen and this on another. To put them back, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to his overlaid. I put them back in here. Sorry, Damon.
Oh, no, that's really nice. It's okay. Couple questions. How often do you do tutorials or webinars to teach? I know that you do quite a bit. These are questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do webinars on WindowTrader every other Thursday. I think it's the first and third Thursdays of the month. We also have all types of help videos and different resources for the market profile. Do you mind if I just show it, Damon?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
okay, let me
absolutely.
bring this up here.
That's what this is all about.
Okay. Yeah. Let me do this. Okay, you see that all right, Damon?
Mm-hmm.
The website? Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
All right. You know, I purchased this company from the original developer back in 2001, and then we basically started over from scratch and designed the whole display that you see to support the market profile. Till I was able to get the software that I really wanted, I used to do the profiles by hand, and that taught me an awful lot about them. Now, one of the things that I want to show you is if you're not familiar with the market profile, we really believe in education. I was a partner with Jim Dalton for 5 years. We taught a lot of traders coming off the exchange floors how to trade off of the screen. And we created this section here for you for the market profile. There's a series of 5 videos here that show market profile on WindowTrader. And you might find those to be very helpful and informative. In addition to that, we created a glossary. And this is just for quick reference. So if you go to the glossary and click on it, we have an FAQ also. Just go down here to anything you want to look at. And for example, let's assume you wanted to look at short covering. There's an example of short covering, and then there's text that explains it. And you could just go through any of these and look at them, and it's just a way to refresh what you know about it already, or maybe even spark a new idea for you. Now, the other thing is that if you go to the support section right here, what we've done is we've put our help videos in here. And in the help videos, again, you're going to be able to see different ways that we add things to the charts, we can modify them, etc. And we've added a new section, and it's called Concepts. And what we're doing now is, this was a webinar that I did for Shadow Trader. And these are some of the different displays that we put into this webinar. You can go there and watch that. We have recorded webinars, and we're now starting to build displays and post them like on the indexes. So the NAS, the E-mini, etc. We're going to be posting charts in here to give examples of different displays, how people are looking at them based on, these are going to be subscriber screens, a lot of them. So we're going to do ETFs, we're going to do the AGs, the equities, fixed income, indexes, etc. So these are all complementary resources to support you, not only with the software, but the underlying premise of WindowTrader is the market profile. Okay, Damon?
Okay, so let's see. I got a couple questions I need to answer. Somebody asked if on our futures platform, do we have options? We do. There is an options front end. I can't display it right now on this webinar, but you can contact me if you're interested. or you could trade options on futures. Someone else asked if we do stocks. Not currently. We will probably be doing stocks soon. We're working on it. And let me see, there was another question for you here. 1 second. Okay, this is for you, Terry. It says, this is the first time I've seen the Dalton indicators. Is the gap up indicator with a green arrow, or was this added to a JPEG of the chart? I don't know if you can make heads or tails out of that, Terry.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Okay, let me go back to this one here. I've got it on this one here. All right. If you'll notice, I'm going to click over here on this gear. There's the Dalton metrics right here. If I want to see that, so watch right here. Here's the gap. If I go in here, market gap, I turn it off, I turn it on. I think what he's asking if that's an annotated JPEG of the chart. No, this is actually built into the software.
Okay. So someone was asking, and I can answer this for the both of us, can you import templates into the integrated Photon and WindowTrader platform? And that's absolutely. Some clients already who worked with us in the beta were able to use their templates from their current WindowTrader Blue. And then yeah.
I was going to show here, just go to View,
right,
Template Gallery, and here's the displays right here. And you just rotate them around till you find one you want to look at. Here's a display. If I want to do it, I just install the template. Here's an example of something I did not show, but if you'll notice these little red arrowheads right here, we filtered the data to show us only where 100 lots or greater traded. And this marked them right here. And one thing interesting about this, and Damon is better qualified to talk about this than I am, is that none of the size transactions, it appears here, really traded at the extreme. Damon, I'll let you comment on that. I mean, what it told me is that the size is not trying to buy the high or buy the low and sell the high. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, so it really depends. I learned something from Tudor Jones back in '86 when I was executing for him, and yeah, there's no doubt that the big institutions don't necessarily want to make a new high, but they do have their levels, and they also have their exits where maybe if the market's breaking, where they say we need to liquidate. At those points, they will start to liquidate, but it usually causes the market to run a little further when they get in, and that's why you're probably seeing that. For instance, the biggest order I can remember, I had to buy 3,000 in 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the big S&Ps. I could barely get them done at the time before they split the contract. So 6,000 bigs, which is the equivalent of today of 30,000 E-minis. So you can imagine I moved the market. There's no doubt. I put it into a frenzy. But we actually, our average started a lot lower. And I don't think I paid the high on 100 or 200. I think the market just got into it set off stops. It set off, the retails, buyers that come in. I would say yes. Usually they're not buying. You don't see the volume necessarily at the high or low. But I will say this: if we're breaking out of a new high and there is big volume, that to me will signify that that high has been penetrated and that the trend is probably going to move higher. Even if it pulls back into the value area, you would be looking to buy the dip. If it came out of the value area with no volume from my pit days, that would be like when we made a new high and no one was participating in it. Then you want to fade it and you want to be looking to sell that tail. I kind of went off in a tangent, but that's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
So,
going to show,
good.
I was going to show one more chart here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Here's an example that this is a very complex chart. We have a histogram. This
Hmm.
is session volume, market profile, and then we have 60-minute candles, two volume histograms for 30 minutes each inside of the 60, and then we have two 15-minute open, high, low, closed bars for each one of the 30-minute periods. So we're 3 layers deep. But here's what I want you to see, and that is that we have a countdown timer showing you how much time is left in the 15, how much time is left in the 30, and how much time is left in the 60. When it makes the full circle, it exhausts that time interval.
That's nice. Very nice. There's so many things I haven't seen. It's funny. I've been looking at your product for a long time and using it, but I didn't realize that. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's go back to some more questions here. The one thing about the templates, actually, I think I didn't answer it completely. I believe they were talking about complete layouts, I think. So if you were to have window trader through Photon and you brought up a chart, and then you brought up, let's say, a Photon candle chart, and then you had some you had your market view, market depth, whatever, and then save the entire layout, it will remember the entire layout. You can also import the layouts from your from chart to chart. But that is true. You can actually save the entire layout. And one thing I will tell you, you know, that's a really hard thing normally to do with such complicated charts, but it is you're able to do it. So let's see. There is a question. Let's see. About, oh, it says, can you go over the pricing again? I'll do that in a little bit. It says there's no view, the menu, and the integrated platform. Okay, I can show you that. And then we had some really nice compliments. And okay, and when is this offered? This is offered. This is actually a rollout. This is the presentation here to let you know that it's in production now. It's been in beta for a while, and we worked on this for close to a year. So this is not, and we've been working together for years to do something, but this is not an easy thing for us to do. But we really wanted to do it. We find value in it, and of course, I find a lot of value. Linda Reschke, for those that don't know, is my wife. She uses it. There's one other question here. We do use, we work together with Rhythmic for the data. Rhythmic has their servers at the exchange, and those servers that we use, and we find it to be extremely fast and very good for us. We used to have our own servers pointed at the exchange, but actually they have a much quicker setup, and it really works good for us. So we, and this is written to our API and is embedded in our API so that you can do all these things together. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, a lot of these questions that are on there, I will do a follow-up, maybe a follow-up webinar showing, how you bring it up, how you actually do the functions to get everything up there and saving layouts. If you have any questions, let me see if I can switch back over to me here for a second. All right, I'm going to take this away for a second here because I know. Let me first give you the, let me see, can you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you look on here, I know it looks like, an expressway. It's kind of full of all kinds of crazy things, but it's basic. Up to the right, you can always contact me if you have questions for me. I'm always available. And by the way, I don't have this up here. I just started on Twitter. I've been asked to do some, to post things on Twitter that I see. So I decided to start doing it. So you can follow me on Twitter. It's just my name. It's at Damon Pavlatos for my Twitter. You can find me on there. And I just started. I used to years ago, and you'll see some charts. You'll see some market profile, Photon, and what I'm looking at the market. If you're interested, it's no big deal. It's free. Websites, Window Trader. There's windowtrader.com. The website, you want to go to the website he was on, or Future Path Trading. That's our website for those that aren't clients or never looked at our website. And we do offer other platforms as well, and we offer 6 different FCMs that we work with. So you can contact below. I put 2 numbers up there to contact: Jerry Winter or Neri Lugo. And if you had any information on how to get started or about the product or Window Trader, Photon, you can contact them as well. So that's the information you want to go to. Let me see. There was one other question. Okay, well, the integrated platform, if you wanted to see the integrated platform, I guess I could show that briefly here. Let me take you to one more screen, and then I will let you go have your dinner and move on and do your homework for tomorrow, right? So let's see. Okay, so this here actually came from the Photon right here. Basically, this toolbar here will allow you to do multiple things. If you wanted to bring up another chart, you just click on the chart here. Let me bring up a chart. So now I've got an empty one, and here I've got my saved templates. I just go in here. Let's just do one here. This is a basic one with the night and the day. And let me move it. I'll blow it up here for a second. Oh, this is where you load the instrument, depending on, if it's a brand new one. And then it just starts loading. And this particular one that I brought up was something I like to look at. It is a basic profile, market profile, but the blue is the night session, and the colored one is the day session. So that's how you bring up you can have multiple charts, but you can just go here and you set up all your templates, and you just click on them. Now you can import these. You can email them to yourself if you're for another computer. If you want to move some templates to another computer, that's one way to do it. Okay. And then our toolbar here, I'm going to go through this real quick for those that have not seen Photon. I'm going to make this really quick. Let me close it, do this. It's opening that down below. Okay. So this is a very customizable ladder, probably the easiest that you might have ever used, because it was created from traders, which, by the way, us traders are not techies. So you want to be able to execute quickly and without having to think about it. So let me bring up one more chart. Bear with me. Okay, so it's opening at another window, so and just hang on for a minute here. Okay. Somebody wanted to see on here a regular candle. Well, that's not a problem. Let's just this is just a Photon chart. Okay. Sometimes these things with webinars aren't as easy as I like them to be, but okay. So you can see on the right side, you have this little execution tabs where you can just click on the chart, but actually the market's closed right now, so it's going to reject it. You see that? But you just click on limit, click where you want to put it in. You can click on here and put it in. It depends on where you like to trade. I personally like to trade on the ladder. I put it on the ladder, but then I adjust it once it's on here. So this, you wanted to see a regular candle. This is, how a regular candle looks. And what's nice is having the two market profile along with, our charts or something where you can, or whatever indicators you like to add to, like window trader, the combination is endless. And then if you wanted the volume candles, these are the volume candles. So this is a 5-minute chart, and the white, the bigger the volume, the wider the candle. Still a 5-minute chart. It's a nice visual. Let's go real quick through some of these. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just load a market view for a second. Okay, let's start with just the quote board. This is a basic quote board that I built. You can build quote boards real easy and name them, name tabs, whatever you want, or you can list them this way. Ours is extremely easy and customizable. You can come in here and just decide what you want to see. If you want to see all those things, you can do that. You can give them, add the descriptions, take the descriptions out. You can make them this big. Linda only uses the bid offer and in the contract. She doesn't care to see anything else. So everybody has their own little ideas of how to do it. You can also trade from here. You can go buy one, you can say 3 at this price. So you could trade from the quote board, and you can link that quote board with your matrix and your charts and your market depth. It's really a easy way to, let me just show you here. I'm not going to get into a full demonstration of this because it's really about, window trader, but you can see here, it just changes based on what market you're looking at. And of course, the market's close, you're not seeing anything. And then if you go all the way through here, there's different modules, order entries, for instance. This one right here, if I click on it, and it disappeared. Let's see if it comes up on my other window here. Oh, there it is. So the order entry window is just one of the many order entry windows you can have. And I'll drag it into it. One second, and then I think we're gonna roll this up pretty soon. So I can also link this too, and I will just show you real quick. So if on your charts, you can have these all over the place, and you can just click it so everything changes. You can join the bid, which means you're going to be along with the bid, join the offer, you're going to be on the offer. You take what means buy the offer, hit the bid. There's a lot of little functionalities in this. So I'm not going to get too crazy about going over this. This is just your basic position report. You can have it listed here of everything that you're trading with, your total balance, your open balance, combined or separate. And there's a lot of customizing you could do with your, on the menu, the options menu, and fonts, colors, your trade matrix. These are all the things you could do with the trade matrix. You can do things there. You could do things here. The trade matrix is probably the easiest to use of all, all the ladders or domes that I've tried. And I made it that way because I like things nice and easy. One click in, one click out, just left click, drag. All right, I'm done with showing this here because I just wanted to touch bases on you because somebody asked if I can show the actual front end. And, but, you know, I wanted to really concentrate on Terry, and I didn't want to get it too long-winded. So here's the deal. Contact me if you have any questions. If you have questions for Terry, you can go ahead and contact Terry as well. Let me also do this. I'll go back to, oops, no. Okay, this thing's a little out of control here. Where was it?
Did you say whoops?
Yeah, whoops. See, I'm showing my age. That's probably nothing. That's slang from our era. If you look down below, you can email Merrill at windowtrader.com if you have any interest in, or if you want to sign up for a subscription. Over here, if you're interested in opening up an account and trying this out, PhotonTrader execution platform, you can contact us. And this is what you would do to get started. But you have to have a funded account in order to get the data subscription rates down to where they're at $18 for 4 changes. All right. Well, that's it. I think any questions here? Let me see if I can get a look real quick. Okay. It says are moving averages, moving average trend lines, etc., available on long-term charts. On Photon, we have trend lines and things like that. Terry, I don't know if he was asking for Photon charts or if he's asking for both, but trend lines usually you're not drawing trend lines necessarily on market profile. You would do them on single bars. So I'd say if you want single bars, you can do it on Photon.
Right.
You know, right? Am I right on that? Okay. And that's why the combination is so great. If that's what you want, you know, you do those on Photon, and then you can do the market profile and the combination of the two products, Photon and WindowTrader. There's a lot of things with Photon that you can do. They have window analytics, right? So actually, I just realized, did I share the, no, I didn't share the screen. Let me do that. So I put that there so you guys can see that. Yeah, and for instance, on our market depth, we actually have a time and sales feature that, it shows what's traded on a bid and offer and not just the bid and offer, and it colors it so that in milliseconds, you're seeing how many are being bought and sold on the bid and offer. You can make it disappear in 2 seconds, and so it keeps refreshing. And you can also filter what do you want to see? Do you want to see 20 contracts and above, so you don't watch a bunch of 1s and 2s and 5s traded? You want to see the bigger orders. So between the two of us, we've covered everything you possibly could need for volume analytics. Sure, you can always find something, but I think if you go beyond this, I don't know, it's kind of smoke and mirrors, I think. But that's my 2 cents. Over here, again, you can contact us, either contact Merrill, and I really want to thank everybody, including Terry. I'm really excited about this relationship that we have. It's been long overdue, right, Terry? I met Terry in 1995. It's pretty funny that it might have been 93. I think 93. And he came down to the floor when I was executing on the floor. And so we were really friends and talked about the markets. And before we actually did anything together, until I decided to take the execution operation and turn it into an off the floor trading software and execution off the floor operation. And Terry then founded the first, as he said, the first software was 2001, I believe.
Yeah.
And when he showed me the software, it was state of the art because we were state of the art. There was nothing out there. There's maybe about 5 or 6 trading platforms in 2001 or 2. And so I was excited for him. He was excited for me. It was fun. And I used the software, many times, along with my own software. So this is great that we can do the combination together. All right. Well,
Damon,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah, yeah. You're welcome. I'm glad we could finally team up. If you have any questions, go ahead, contact us. You have a great day. I'm glad that we were able to show you the new rollout, and we'll do some more webinars coming on, and answer more questions. This is just the beginning, and for sure we're going to be doing things with Terry on market profile, and I'm doing some webinars that some of you, if you haven't been on them, I'm doing one tomorrow morning. I'm doing every Tuesday and Thursday morning, kind of looking at the markets, what I think, and I will be using WindowTrader. If you aren't on the list, on our list, you're obviously on the list now. We'll send you a link if you're interested. You log in. They're 8 o'clock Central to 9 o'clock. We take a look at the opening, and I show you a couple tips and tricks, if you want to say, and answer any questions you might have. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending. Thank you, Terry. Much appreciated, and I'm excited. And let's knock it out of the park, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Good night.